Hey, Amy, what's today? It's Hump Day! Sorry, we've been listening to that since the beginning. What
was that commercial from? It was a camel.
Geico one.
Was it? Sounds like a Geico.
I think it was like Geico.
It was before the lizard got the full-time gig.
I tell you what, some of the Geico and those commercials from the 90s and early 2000s, they're funny.
They're pretty great.
Yeah.
Do you remember the pig with his head out the window?
Oh, yeah.
Also a Geico commercial.
We all the way home.
Yeah. But no, we're not sponsored by Geico, but they do have some great commercials.
And if they want to sponsor, glad to take their money and not talk about it.
They could be our official Hump Day sponsor. But here we are, Wednesday, guys. We're still on the Armour of God, right?
Yeah. We're a week into our Lent goal, so quick update. I hate it.
You're not supposed to say that.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were real people.
Well,
no, just joking, people. Hope you're getting along good with your goals. Hope you're staying strong, standing firm in victory, that you can get through whatever you're giving up. Like I said, you're a weekend, so.
How's your detox on sodas and energy drinks going, Eric?
I might be twitching a little, but
yeah.
Okay.
You're just like taking spoonsful of sugar, like in the background?
Yeah.
Probably. Okay.
How's yours going?
Well, most days I have been able to, I'm further along than I would be. Let's just say that. So,
just stand firm, people, and keep with it. We got this. And you got a God, you got it all. So.
Yeah, amen to that. All right. Speaking of standing firm.
Armour of God, Day 3.
Day 3. We are on the sideline of the battlefield.
Tell you what, those Roman soldiers, as heavy as their stuff was, it probably took them 3 days to put their armor on.
Yeah.
I speak about the Chosen series a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
I watched an episode. I finished up season 4. And there's the episode, you remember Jesus taught about if someone asked you to go a mile, go an extra mile in the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about there was a law in Rome that if a soldier from Rome asked you to carry their stuff, that you had to legally carry them a mile. And what Jesus was saying is go the extra mile. And in the Chosen, it was funny because like him and the disciples were going in a direction. And the soldiers came up and said, drop your stuff, Hebrews, or you Jews, and you carry our stuff.
Like the opposite direction?
No, the direction they were going.
I've gotcha.
So they dropped all of their personal effects that they were carrying, picked up all of the armor, the helmets, everything of these soldiers, carried it a mile. When they got to the mile mark, the soldiers are like, well, thank you, or whatever, give us our stuff back. And Jesus says, keep going.
Wow.
And he walked that extra mile, and then they had to walk the 2 miles back
just to get their stuff.
And then go back out there. So that was when that's coming up in the Bible, that go that extra mile.
Yeah.
That was really, really hard hitting to watch on screen. Was doing that.
I bet. But isn't that the picture of generosity?
Yeah.
Like that's also sort of the born again life. I'm not just going to do the status quo and phone it in. I will go above and beyond because that reflects the glory of God, right?
I'm going to go all theological on you here.
Oh,
and go,
by all means.
That's Jesus breaking the law and taking the law out.
Oh,
and doing his own thing, which is all about him.
Yeah.
So he gets rid of the law, which says 1 mile, and says, no, go a 2nd mile.
That is so true. And yet everyone benefits from it, right? Everyone benefited from God's law much better than from the Roman law.
Yeah.
Well, except for the guys that had to hike back for their 2 miles. Yeah. But no, I never thought of it that way, but you're right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Jesus took away the law, so that's what he did.
Oh. All right. Well, so let's see. We had 2.
That's a hard hitter coming.
That is. Oh, my gosh. I mean, Easter, the week before Easter, guys, buckle up. It's going to get real.
Oh, yeah. I'm
excited.
I have been prepping for Easter and Holy Week for months.
Since Christmas.
Since Christmas. And Easter week is so good. But last year, I was lucky enough to be able to do the service at Big Blue for Easter. And we did it outside. Amy was with me. Mm-hmm. Bren was with me.
Bren.
We went up on this platform. If you've ever been by Big Blue, there's this platform, I don't know, 15 feet in the air, man.
Yeah.
and there's some crosses behind it. And we went out there, and it was a little chilly, but it wasn't bad. And the sun was setting, and it was beautiful sky. And we were talking about everything that happened in Holy Week to these kids, and how like we meet on Saturday, so it was the not knowing anything on Saturday that was like the coolest thing to talk about. But ever since then, like I have had this passion that everyone needs to understand what Jesus went through, so that you can have freedom.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about this the other night. I don't know why it popped in my head, but the Passion of the Christ, right? Almost everyone went to that movie theater to see that, right? Now, I don't know. I know I wasn't in that real strong relationship with God, but I think this just goes to show that mustard seed faith. We're sitting there, and of course, like he's getting hammered to a cross. And guys, the Bible does this all the time. It takes like these pretty big things, and when you only read a couple words, it just doesn't sink in the way it would if you were there listening to. I mean, just the way, we talk about the Red Sea's parted, the people walked on dry land. Like, come on, there was like sounds and smells, and was there like an octopus suspended in mid? Like, there's so much that goes on in these, these histories of God's work, and yet the Bible, when it just kind of tells it in one sentence, you just don't really ingest what really truly happened. So, needless to say, when they are showing Jesus being nailed to the cross, when they were showing him getting lashed, oh my gosh, it was just, I mean, chunks of flesh are flying off of him. You could see like his bones, and it was brutal, right? Like that movie was brutal. And people are like in the aisles just weeping over what the suffering that he's going through. Well, here I am, Eric, and I'm watching it, and I'm looking around at all these people crying and everything, and I'm like, well, he's Jesus. Like, he knows he's got to do it. Like, I had zero, I don't know what it was like. I guess I was not as compassionate towards him watching that movie as I would have been if it was like a kid in a movie or a dog even, right? You're like, oh, don't hurt the animal. But I guess I just, at the very least, at that point in my walk, I understood that he was Jehovah, and that he was doing what he was supposed to do. And I also knew on the other side of this horrific passion play that's unfolding, I knew how the story ended. And so maybe for me, it just wasn't that sad because I knew how the story ended. But yes, I think it's very sobering to understand how much he suffered and loves us.
I got this picture of time-traveling Amy like coming back there, standing out there as Jesus getting lashed, going, "Suck it up, Buttercup." I mean,
right? Would I be just eating popcorn, watching the whole thing like it's I don't know, but I'm just like, well, you're Jesus. This is what you came to do. Like, I'm not gonna sit in a movie theater and cry for you. But yeah, it was brutal what he went through, and
we joke and laugh, but yeah, it was very brutal. And I'm looking forward to Holy Week. That's where this started. I'm looking forward to it, and we're still a month away, and Eric's still like gung ho that Holy Week's gonna be so good. I think and then we're gonna dig in deep on it. I hope.
Well, I remember going back last year, you gave us those little nails.
Yeah.
I do remember you gave each kid a nail and said this is like 1/10 of the actual.
I think it was 1/6.
1/6, the actual size. And it's funny because I do look at that nail that's in our butterfly logo, and it kind of reminds me of those nails that he gave out. But yeah, we got a lot to unpack when it comes to that time. But okay, so
that's not what we're on today.
Wait, we're not?
No. We still got some out of order parts of the armor.
This is why we need Facebook Live, so people can just chime in and be like, get back on the topic, Eric.
That's when we could show them this outline that Amy did. So beautiful. So put together. And then we're like drawing squiggly lines going, nope, right here, not there.
Yeah, he did not stick with 1 through 6. So we're going to go up to number 2 and finish off with number 6.
Yeah. So we went 5, the helmet of salvation. 4, the shield of faith. 3, the feet fitted with readiness. Mm-hmm. Then we went to 1, the belt of
truth.
That's man, I was drawing a blank for a second. And now we're going to go with the breastplate of righteousness.
All right, and this all comes from Ephesians 6, guys. So if you want to read the full chapter again, we've done it twice, but it is the armor of God is in verses 10 through 17. So we have, as Eric said, we've gotten through 4 of the 6. So time to talk about the breastplate of righteousness.
I'm going to give this floor to you, and this is one that I struggled to really get a hold of, and Amy had a good grasp, so I'm going to let her run with it.
Okay. Well, so we know when it comes to armor, the breastplate was usually this hammered out piece of metal, right? And depending on, it would be formed almost like the shape of the chest, right? And in some of the more, and I don't know if this is as accurate, but in some of the movies that we watch, it's almost like the pectoral muscles and the 10-pack stomach are kind of hammered out in that. So it makes you look even more muscular. But I don't know if they were.
I would say they weren't that detailed.
I don't think they had time, not with making as many as the Roman soldiers needed. But anyway, so it was just this hammered out piece of metal that went over the front. And it was, sometimes there'd be a back piece, but sometimes it was just straps that, that's why you had kind of an armor bearer often behind you or protecting you. So you really just had that front piece of metal over your chest. And, that protected your heart and all your internal organs. So when I started thinking about this, okay, so you've got your breastplate of righteousness. So then I always have to go back to what that word righteousness means. And righteousness is really a big word for saying doing it God's way and following God. So when I think about something that's protecting our heart and our internal organs, and why righteousness is in there, the word that kind of came up was sin. Because if we're not righteous, we're sinful. And so that breastplate is basically protecting us from the consequences of sin. And sin has huge consequences. God gives us grace in every situation, and he forgives us and he loves us. But Eric, there are times in our lives where there's going to be a consequence to, murder. And you could be forgiven of that, but somebody still died. You cannot turn back time and make that unhappen, right? So you've got these huge consequences. And I just kind of listed a few of them. But, falling away from God, right? Sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own guilt and shame over sins that we've done that it just makes us, feel unworthy of God's love and forgiveness. And I said before, I hate how people feel like, oh, I can't walk in a church. I've done too much. God's going to strike me down. I mean, that couldn't be further from the truth. That's a lie from the pit of hell. But, our own sin can make us not love ourselves and not even give ourselves grace, even though God can forgive us. So, and along that same vein, there's shame, there's guilt. When we're sinful, we're hurting others or ourselves, and if you're not really sure, well, what's considered sin, a great place to start is the 10 Commandments. Yep. We're not going to lie. We're not going to commit adultery. We're not going to envy. We're not going to steal. We're not going to murder, right? These are the things, that sin is all a part of. And again, they all stem from just not loving people well. Another big one, this is a big consequence, is when you cause others to stumble in their faith walk, like that. Because again, like you, Eric, everyone looks up to you. Like you said, you're dad to so many people. We still need to get back about that word. Not a godfather, but we'll get to that. A dad to many, a spiritual dad, right? But when you're looked up to either in your church or your community or amongst these kids, and then you do something sinful that everyone knows about, and then all of a sudden, what you, Eric, have led these kids to believe about God, about Christianity, about this relationship that you keep talking about, it's shattered, right? And I think there's a part in the Bible where it even says it would be better for you to not be born than to lead one of these astray. Yeah. So sin has huge consequences. And again, it's that devil schemes. Like, he's going to convince you, like, it's okay. You can lie this one time. You can cheat on this test. You don't have to honor your father and mother. Like, that was just, that's a suggestion. It's not a commandment. It's okay to have an affair on your husband if you're not happy, right? Like, there are so many lies and schemes that the devil is going to use to get you to sin. And that, I think, is what the breastplate, it's a hard one to say.
It's a hard one to say.
The breastplate of righteousness is all about.
All right, so 2 thoughts while you were talking.
Okay.
It's protecting your heart of flesh. We talked about when you get your salvation helmet, that God turns your hard heart, your stone heart, to a heart of flesh.
Right.
So it needs a little more protecting.
Yes, it does.
So you need that righteousness to protect that heart of flesh. And one of the words that Amy used is shame. And if you remember all the way back when I gave my story about me, one of the things that caused me to fall into a huge depression was my shame. And that's a scheme of the devil. And I try to tell people all the time and warn people all the time that don't be ashamed of what happened in your past, because God's given you a future. Yeah. So that righteousness and knowing that with that shield of faith, helmet of salvation, all of those things came together to say you're a child of God, you have a future. The past doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So don't get ashamed. Don't let that one kill you and eat you up and kill that heart of flesh, because it will.
Well, and what you just said reminded me of the verse of scripture that talks about when we run the race and when we finish the race. And I think a lot of times we picture our lives not as a point A to finish line B. We look at it almost like in a circle, right? And so that shame, because Christ is our great redeemer. And so when I think about what redemption looks like, to a kid, redemption looks sometimes like this, right? Where it's the big game, right? And you're ready to win this thing. And then you just not just lose to this team, but you just get, creamed. And it's embarrassing, and your coach is angry, and you're so mad at yourself, and your parents are disappointed, and, so much happens, and you're just like, oh my gosh. But then, like every great underdog movie we've ever seen, right, where the redemption comes is when you get that next time, and then it's that awesome victory, right? It's just that elation that comes. And you look back to that massive failure and that massive loss and that massive shame, and it's forgotten, because where you are now, if anything, it just makes the victory sweeter now, right? And I think about that, that shame it's definitely part of your past. It's where that belongs. It doesn't get to come along for the ride, but boy, does it make that redemption that much sweeter when you get there. So yeah, you're always moving in a forward direction with God. You're never failing and going back to that pit of shame, right?
As much as I'm looking forward to Holy Week, I'm looking forward to April 1st. I hope we have an episode on April 1st. Because we told you we were going to get through this in this episode, but April Fools, we're out of time.
I can't
one more episode of the Armour of God won't hurt you.
No, I guess not.
So let's stand firm today and join us tomorrow.
Awesome. All right. Take care, guys. Love you.
Past regrets were washed away. I pray to start a brand new day.
Hey guys, thanks again for joining us today. We want to make you a part of the conversation. So please visit our Facebook page at Born Again to Live the podcast and leave a note or a comment, questions, prayer requests. We just want to hear from you. And while you're at it, please like, subscribe, and share so that others can find out about our podcast. Thank you.